you're going to learn how to use the brush tools and all the functions that are under the brush tool. So you're going to make a drawing that looks abstract, kind of like the one you see on the screen. Look at the printed directions and have your cheat sheet next to you or near your monitor so you can find the buttons that we're using. So step number 1, when you open up Photoshop, you're going to see this blue button. You can click New File, and then you're going to leave it on default Photoshop size. Over here where it says Untitled, you're going to make that your last name and brushes, and then you're going to click Create. So now you're going to get a blank white screen. This is your working document. So step number 2 says double check that you can see the navigator window, the history window, and the layers window. So if you look at your monitor, you should see these 3 windows on the side. If you don't see them, go up to the top, click Window, and then Layers, Window, Navigator, Windows, History. So these 3 are the ones we use the most every class period. Sometimes as you work, these get collapsed. So if you look at your cheat sheet, there's a little wheel under tool 15. When you click the wheel, your navigator will appear. If your history is collapsed, it's this little back arrow. Click that, and your history appears. And layers looks like 2 diamonds stacked on top of each other. Okay, so now you're looking for the brush tool. Look at your cheat sheet. Find the brush tool. It's tool number 7. You're going to want it to be on the brush. If you click and hold, it'll say brush, and that's what you're starting with. So after you choose your brush tool, you're going to go click on tool 13, which is your color picker. And you're going to pick any color on the rainbow and then click inside the big box and then click New. Now this is going to let you draw on your screen. So click and drag and draw any sort of lines on your screen. Then I wanted you to practice how to undo things. So step 6 on your directions, say click Control Z, and if you keep clicking it, it's going to keep undoing what you had done before. So in Photoshop, as soon as you make a mistake, you don't like it, Control Z, undo. Then step number 7 says practice using the history window. Open the history window, and when you look at it, the history window is recording everything you have done. So I can go backwards and click up a layer. I can go to New, and it's going to bring me back to the white screen, or I can click on the brush tools, and it's going to bring me back to the brushes I had before. So the history is another spot where you can undo things or bring them back to the surface. Okay, step 8 says draw a line again on the screen, and now place your mouse on your white space. You should be able to see the size of your drawing tool. If your caps lock is on, you're going to see a plus sign. You don't want to see a plus sign. You want to see it as a circle, because now you're going to play around with changing the size of your draw tool. So step 8 says look at your keyboard. Click the bracket by the letter P, the one right next to the letter P. Every time you click it, it's going to shrink your dot size. So your dot becomes smaller. So now when you click and drag, you're going to get a much smaller line. Go ahead and switch colors, and now grow your dot. The bracket 2 spaces away from the letter P is going to make your dot bigger, and then you can click and drag and draw some lines with a bigger dot size. So that is the fastest way to change the size of your brush, the brackets next to the letter P. Then step 10, under the brush tool, if you look at the top under the word image, there's a number underneath image. When you click that number, the brush window is going to appear. So the functions here, this slider where it says size, when you slide the bar, is going to change the size of your dot. Hardness means how sharp the edges are. So right now my hardness is at 0, so my lines look fuzzy when I draw. If I drag that towards 100%, now when I draw, I'm going to get straighter hard edge lines. So give yourself some examples, demonstrate some soft, fuzzy lines and some hard lines. And then switch ink colors. I want you to use at least 5 different ink colors in this abstract drawing. When I go back to this brush window, now I can scroll down. This is step 11. When I scroll down, I'm going to see more brush options. So initially, your window might be collapsed like this, where you just see the title of these. when you click the arrow, you can open up these folders. So general brushes are either just soft or round. If you open up dry media brushes, these are going to look like materials in regular art class that don't require water or they stay dry, like a pencil or charcoal or a pastel. So click on any of these options and draw yourself some examples. Change your brush sizes. Make some big, make some small. Just to experiment and see what's going to happen to that as you click, and then switch your colors so that you have a variety of colors that you're working with. So then sample some wet media brushes. See what's going to happen when you open the wet media. Although it didn't change for me. Okay, so now I might see what happens when I use a blender. Sometimes it's going to not use the color you chose, but blend the colors underneath. Again, I can change my brush size and make it really big and see what happens. If I decide I don't like that, okay, because now it just took away everything. Now I'm going to do Control Z, undo that, or I can go back in my history and go backwards and take away the spots that I don't like. So this assignment, when you finish, you're going to go, let's look at the directions for the rubric. The rubric says the student demonstrated at least 5 different brush tools. The student used at least 5 different colors. Your brush sizes, you used at least 3 different brush sizes. And then you've layered your colors to fill the entire screen. And lastly, you get a grade for being on task each period and you contributed positively to the learning environment, meaning you're not distracting others. So at the end of class, or when you are finished and ready to turn in, step 14 on your board, on your directions, say, click File, Save As. You always click on your computer, and then you're going to scroll over on your left-hand side, and you're going to pick this PC. You're going to scroll down and look for your G drive, open up your art folder, and then you're going to click Save. Okay, so now I've got a copy of my G drive, but now I have to go submit that into Schoology. When you open your Schoology course, and you open up Photoshop, there's a folder for brushes, and there's an assignment that says brushes turn in. You're going to submit that file to the turn in folder to turn it in for credit. When you click on it, you're going to see the grading rubric as a reminder of what I'm looking for. And then just need to know things. The instructions are in that folder and a finished example if you want to see kind of what the goal is for that assignment.